Hi, I'm Michael Forrest, and today we're going to use CueCam Presenter to make a Deluge tutorial. What is a Deluge? Well, the Synthstrom Deluge is a sampling synth groovebox that you can sequence and play live without a computer. I'm going to show you it in a minute, but it's quite powerful, but it is a bit mystifying sometimes, and it's easy to forget how to do stuff, and you often find yourself going to YouTube tutorials. So I thought we could pay it forward by making our own tutorial using CueCam Presenter. What is CueCam? It's a Mac app that I made that makes it easy to record demos on your Mac without having to set up complicated streaming software or do any editing. And that's a workflow I call Editless video production, which instead of sort of like recording all the different elements and then putting all together all the graphics and the different takes in your video editor, you bring the graphics in to the recording and you just do a take, and it feels a lot more natural, and you can just do another take if the last one doesn't go as well. You can just do, or just sort of minor touch up things, and you kind of have a better idea of what you are actually showing. And this is great for all sorts of gear demos, but I've picked this music one because, you know, it's got sound, which is a whole extra dimension to things. So you can follow on at cuecampresenter.com and download the app for free. You don't have to pay anything or even hand over your email address to get started, and you can give it a go. The only thing is you only get 3 of these cards. So this is a script. This is a CueCam Presenter script. So you've got these cards. I can add, let's say today we're going to do one with 5 cards, and each of these cards lets you put in a bit of text and add in things like titles and graphics and videos and second cameras and all sorts. So I'll show you how that all works. But to start off with, I've sort of made my little intro. I'm going to paste that in, and the last one's going to be, let's say, like and subscribe, you know. So these are kind of top and tail bits. And then for our content, we are going to have a look at this little handy website. Let's come in a little bit closer. Just zooming in from my iPad here and trying to make sure that everything's in here. Anyway, so we're just going to take the first 3 things in the first 3 keyboard shortcuts, but we want titles down the bottom for each of these, and this is also going to be useful down the line for some other stuff. So if I grab that title, I can go to this card and I can say I want my title to be that. And then if what I want to remember what you have to do, I can just copy and paste this, copy and paste that into the card. And we'll do that for these 3. I'm going to do this a bit more of a keyboard way. I'm just going to paste that in, copy, paste that in, and then just like tidy it up a little bit. So we're going to go scroll horizontal is there, and then we're going to just turn that into a title, turn that into a title, tidy it up a bit, and we're all going to be happy. So that's our little CueCam script. So now we need to set up our camera, but first I need to explain how cameras work in CueCam. So this, if I just want to get rid of this window, this here is the dashboard. And this is how you can sort of remote control CueCam's features from the dashboard. And this is how you do it if you're just doing it all live. So how you think in CueCam is you have a main camera, and then you have a thing that you're sharing. So the main camera, anything connected to your computer or something running on a phone nearby, you can select as a camera. And then to share, you can share like a screen or a different camera or an app or a window or an image or a video. So you can share all sorts of different things. You can also just put some text straight up on the screen, and you've got this aside 3D feature so that we can sort of just get out of the way of the content for a minute if we want to go off on a bit of a tangent. So in terms of specifically filming gear, now I always thought, oh, I've got to use my big DSLR for this, but then you end up buying a C stand or something, which is this sort of like massive thing that has, like, you know, it takes up a lot of space, and then you're sort of like mounting your camera facing down from it, and then you've got your desk here, and you've got this, and you're kind of here, and you're trying to see if that's in focus. You've got your sort of gear here, and you're just this is sort of trying to fall over all the time unless you've got these wheels kind of rotated the right way. So it can be a real pain. So what I'm actually doing is I've just got Shoot running on an iPhone, and this is just sort of attached to my microphone arm on a little kind of gimp ball and thing, you know, I don't know what you call those socket joint things. And this is my microphone, the edge of my microphone here, and then there's the Deluge behind it, and you can see shoots, this is shoots controls on the phone screen. So let's start by saying, okay, when we share, we want to share the shoot camera. So let's just grab that, go shoot. Okay, and you see straight away when we did share it, let's see if I can just zoom out a little bit. You can see we've got all these controls, so we can actually zoom in and adjust things, which I will just quickly show you. But I'll do that by I will just from the dashboard share shoot now as a second camera. And so now that's what we're seeing, and I'm going to come into CueCam's demo mode so that you can see here. Let's kind of have a look at this picture a little bit. So this is the deluge finally making an appearance. So you could zoom in, but I think I'm pretty happy with my framing here. I was fiddling with it for a while, but what I'm going to do is, because as we sort of do this, it's going to keep trying to focus away. So we can actually just lock the focus on, the point we want. Let's say here, and we can adjust how bright we want it to be. So what we actually want to do, so we can see the color of the lights, we're going to bring that down, but what we can actually turn on the phone's light to sort of bring a bit more light back. So I might just go a teeny bit higher just to make the video look a bit more inviting, but we still want to be able to see, the pads, but we also want to be able to see this facade. So you can obviously, if I would usually sort of bring in a light and put it here, but my computer's sort of taking up a lot of space and I've got a big monitor. So I do have a light in the room, but it's kind of there's quite a lot of shadow being cast on this. So I think if I was doing one where, I might sort of bring another light to the side of it. But you can see it's quite useful to have your phone's light just straight onto the device so you can see exactly what's going on. So once you've got everything looking nice, let's make sure we've got sound. So I'm going to pull up the camera preview in CueCam. But what we're going to do is, I'm just going to sort of scroll this up a little bit so that I can crop out the camera feedback so you can see the audio bar. So this here is the audio bar. So you can see my microphone interface is here. That's the rodent we call it, and then this is the output, and then this is my headphone monitoring. So I can say, if I want to be distracted, I can put the headphones in here, but I can also add something else. And what I've got here is Blackmagic Design is what the Deluge is plugged into. So if I just take that, now we're getting sound from the Deluge. But the next challenge here, and if we go back to, if we share the shoot camera again, we're going to see maybe it's not super in sync. I think it's not too bad, weirdly, considering this is a wireless connection. It's kind of crazy, but it's not perfectly in sync. But what we can do is use the built-in delay calculator. So if I click here on the Blackmagic Design, we get this nice pop-up which shows sort of the levels, shows you what's going on. You get a nice big fader, but it's also got this delay calculator. So if I just reset, so it probably was in sync because I did this. This is not my first take. But if I hit, so let me see. So I can use the delay calculator feature. So usually when you fire up the delay calculator, it wants you to do a nice clean clap and then keep your hands together. So that's what the instructions are going to be. But in this case, it's more, we want to see when the light changes on the pad. So what we're going to do is we're just going to hit calculate. We're going to wait. We're going to stay quiet, and then we're just going to press a pad. Let's say, just anyone that's not lit, I guess. Let's just hit calculate. Okay, so now it pops up this window where we can see, here's the sound we played. And so we click at the start of the sound that we played. And then we've just got to look, see up here, when did the finger come down? So if I just come forward, there we go. So it wasn't on, and then it was on. So I think that's actually 133. So I'm just going to save that delay. And now should be perfectly in sync. So can you imagine it being that easy to get things in sync in any other tool? So what do we do next? Now I think we're ready to run through our demo, but first let me just sort of clarify what you do. So I have my teleprompter set up, but you can just do it from this window. So this is just going to show you. You see, like it's got my script that I'm currently going through in this window. But this is whatever text is in here is going to come up into here. So all we're going to do is press start, and we're going to be good to go. But what I'm going to do so that you can see what's happening and follow along, I'm just going to enable demo mode on all of these cards. And then you're going to be able to see. So I'm going to hit start. So this is the only button you need to think about. And there's a keyboard shortcut for it. You can put it on a Stream Deck. This is the only thing you have to think about, pressing next. So you saw as I was going through this, I was just sort of pressing next each time. I should really have like a clicker that I can hold here. We'll do that one day. But yeah, so I'm just going to press start. And you're going to see we're started. So we've got the full screen camera on the first slide. This is a Synthstrom Deluge tutorial. I'm going to go over a few basic things, skip ahead to whenever you need using the chapter markers. I'm going to press next. And then it's going to change to this overhead view. It's going to have the title down here. And it's going to tell me what I need to do. So, okay, first we're going to view the zoom level. How do we do that? We just click here. And that's showing me I'm at 16th zoom. I'm going to go next. Let's click the button again. And it's going to say, so the good thing with this, we need to just make sure that these are all set to share the shoot camera by multi-selecting. It's going to select all of these and say second camera, shoot. But yeah, you see that the principle is we're just stepping through our sequence and recording it. So what we're actually going to do is do this as a recording just so I can show you one last amazing thing that you can do here. So over here, I'm actually going to set this, you can have triggers. So I'm going to say start recording on this card. So now that's got start recording up here. And I'm going to go down, I'm going to actually make one last card and I'm going to make that stop the recording. So triggers, finish recording. And now when I press start, we're going to get that recording. So I'm going to leave demo mode on, and that's going to actually go into the recording as well, which can be useful if you're trying to demo CueCam, but for your purposes, you wouldn't have demo mode enabled. But yeah, I'm just going to press start and we'll do a take, and I will show you how this feels. This is a Synthstrom Deluge tutorial. I'm going to go over a few basic things today. Skip ahead to whatever you need using chapter markers. So the first thing we want to know is how to view the zoom level. We've got our pattern here. How do we know what each of these steps represents? Just click here. Now you've got the zoom level up here. Perfect. What's the next thing you want to know how to do? Change the zoom level. Okay, well, we want to sort of zoom in and make some sort of closer notes down here. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to scroll to the next thing you need to know to scroll, we're just going to go left and right. So now I can just add in a few faster ones and we can zoom out again. And now when I play that back, so when they're white, you can see that there's detail on the lower zoom levels. You can zoom in, go back and forwards. Hope you liked that tutorial. If you did, like and subscribe. And we've hit end recording. And we've finished. So let's just see what we got there. So up here, let's just hide the camera again. So up here, you see it's got show file. So I'm going to hit show file. And this is going to bring up the file. Which has this is a Synthstrom Deluge tutorial. I'm going to go over a few basic things today. So there's our recording, but what we also have is a little text file that shows it's given us an idea for a title just based on what we put into that script, Mastering the Synthstrom Deluge, a beginner's guide, and then it's sort of summarized it for us, and then it's got the chapter markers. How do you find out how to zoom? How do you find out how to change it? How do you scroll horizontally? So it took those from the script. When we sort of stepped through it, it just recorded those in this document. It sent the whole script up via ChatGPT and sort of said, oh, can you just summarize this for us? You have to opt into that. Obviously, I'm not just sending up your scripts to the cloud without asking. But yeah, you can see how this workflow, you could just be churning out these videos and just a lot of high quality stuff, I think. And it would be really easy for people to navigate and really easy for people to use. So if you want to try this, you can download CueCam Presenter from CueCam-presenter.com. It's a Mac app and it works with Video Pencil, which lets you do things like this. if you can add them in bit. And it lets you do all sorts of great stuff. And I have made this whole video as a live take using CueCam Presenter, so you can sort of see, even when you start doing demos of demos, it really holds together well. So I hope you'll give it a try. I'm on the other end of the email, on the other end of Discord. Get in touch with me whenever, but that's how you do it. I hope you like it as much as I do.